Hi guys, we're here with Shelby. We're going to be doing a really heavy, really bright balayage look on her today. So her partings are as follows. We started with a horseshoe on top, and that's going to be our top section. And then I took from the sides forward where the ears want to split, and then I took everything else back in the back. And we're going to be doing V-shaped sectioning, and then we're going to be doing a horizontal one. And then another two diagonal, and then a horizontal. The big difference today is we're going to be saturating a lot more and trying to get a lot brighter look. So I've already mixed up our freehand with our 1 to 1.5 ratio. Make sure you use your scale. Go ahead and click the link in the corner. Go ahead, check that out about mixing the freehand. You want to make sure you mix it properly or you're not going to get the right consistency and we're not going to get the right amount of lift. And I did 40 volume. So we're going to get our max lift, our up to 6 levels of lift with that today. Alright, I zoomed it in so we can watch a little bit with the application of freehand. I'm going to go in real heavy where I want that bright blonde to start, and I'm feathering up. And then I like to do the V shapes. So I'm going to go up to one side, and then up to the other, and work my way down. Now, as you can see, there is nothing going through and fully saturating yet. So I like to kind of push it through a little bit with my hands and keep working it through, feathering up to each side. And then I can see how well my saturation is doing. Shape section. Picking up more product. The thing with freehand is you really, really need to work it in. Alright, now we're to the sides. So what we're going to do, pretty much the same thing, only I'm going to feather the front up a little higher and the back a little lower, and that's going to give her that kind of halo effect. And I really want to make sure that front piece is saturated so she has those bright, bright pieces right by her. And drop it down. We're going to do the same with both sides. And we'll see when we get to the top. Alright, now we're up to the top, or to that horseshoe section. Comb it out. I'm going to take, I'm going to go ahead and take crisscross sections all the way till her front, starting back here. I'm going to keep doing the same thing, starting in the middle, where I want that biggest concentration of color to start, and keep charging it. Every time I charge my brush, go back to it and work my way up. And I like to work my way to both corners first. And then the only thing I'm going to do differently on the top is as I'm working my way up to these corners, I'm going to start working my way in. And I don't want to saturate it fully. Just the top to to give us a little more brightness at the top. So turn my brush down here, work it up so I'm not getting a huge concentration of product. And so since you can see through that, that's obviously not going to lighten as much as down here. I'm going to check our pins. Flip it over so you can see. I don't have, up here we're fully concentrated, but down here we're just getting that surface. Work the sides in just a little bit more. And then I'm going to make sure on her ends that we're fully covered so that they get as light as we want them to. Hands up. This was diagonal this way. I'm going to go ahead and go diagonal this way. And I'm going to do the same thing. Charge my brush. Start down where I want the concentration of light to start. Charge my brush again, go back, and start working my way up. I'll start on the sides, and then I slowly start to work my way. Really pushing the product into the section and feathering up to the top. And making sure my ends are completely saturated. And double checking to make sure that I'm not bleeding through, that I'm just getting a nice feather top. A lot of times I'll still work the corners in a little bit more. So we have a little bit of some brighter pieces, some not as bright. Okay, now we're up to the very front. She's already pretty blonde, but we want to get that money piece. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to really, really saturate, especially where her part is. I don't want to fully saturate because I don't want to give her a big giant chunk. I still want it to be blended, but I want to make sure I over direct so I'm nice and high. Sorry if you can't see as well. And blend it on down. Charge my brush again. And I want to make sure to put a lot of pressure on that piece. And I did the same thing with this last one here, towards the side that it's not going to get, because I want to get that nice halo around her face. Those, they call them money pieces. I'm not as worried about her ends here, just because they're already pretty light. I'm just going to finish off, make sure they're pretty saturated so we get even lit. And even with it being a thin section and me really putting a lot of product and a lot of pressure, turn her around, we still see dry hair. So we're still blended. I just want to push that in a lot more than I push the rest of the top. All right, she is all done. All done with Shelby. So we've got that bright blonde right there in the front, that money piece. You can see all those balayage highlights all the way through.